Iona College Radio.
Good morning, I'm Brian Walsh with WICR for your morning show. Joining me today is Spring and Kenny.
I love his voice.
His voice is amazing.
Yeah.
My gosh. I've always said that.
Isn't it? Now, I could take a nice bath with Brian's voice.
Okay.
You know?
I'll make
like
like
a
audio.
two-hour-
Like, sit in the corner of the room
Really in the
recording. I would
I
want
would
him
want
there.
Brian to read a time story.
Nope, not
Honestly.
even that.
Like if Brian could read me, what's a good story to read before bed? Like Good Night Moon. Oh my gosh. I'll be silent.
Good night, moon. Do it.
Good night, Moon.
Oh,
That's not good night. That's like
he has like that nice. Ooh,
like you sit
very
there with a
light
candle,
voice.
some bubbles, and you just take
Kenny.
it all in. You know?
Kenny, no.
Yeah.
No.
Well, okay, so we're gonna welcome Brian to the show.
Welcome, Brian.
Our new Tuesday producer.
Silent
Thank you.
claps, silent claps.
So just a reminder for all y'alls out there. It's myself and Spring on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then
Hey.
myself and Mr. Joe Ochino out
President.
there on Monday and Wednesdays. So we get a different look every now and again, just to change it up. But you keep me, which is unfortunate for everybody involved. So
Kenny is here 5
Yeah.
days a week.
I am.
So that is
Well,
pretty-
sometimes I'm
I
here
feel
5
bad
days
for
a
you.
week. Sometimes I got a thing.
Ooh.
Ooh, yeah, we'll
You
talk
got a
about
thing
that.
on the
It's a
air.
thing, but we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it later when you let us know what
yeah.
it is.
So, welcome, Brian.
Thank you.
We're excited to have you with
I'm
us.
excited to be here.
Brian, yesterday, me and Brian were on Facebook, and he said that he wanted to do this, and then I said, what day do you want to do? He said, Tuesday. I said, you don't have to start tomorrow. He was like, I'll be there.
Well, I mean, I'm doing this for a class, so
Wait, Brian, just
Yes.
for like my own personal amusement, could you like just say I'll be there?
I'll be there.
Oh my god. That is beautiful.
I mean,
love
my
that.
be carried like
By the
financially
voice.
just by my voice.
You could
I
totally do
believe
it.
You could definitely do it.
You just have to, you know.
I actually heard like Morgan Freeman, who I like to think is my idol with his silky
You
smooth
beat
voice as
Morgan
well.
Freeman
He
completely.
just landed a malfunctioning plane.
Wait, what?
Yeah, he was a pilot in the Korean War, I believe, and he was in like a plane. It malfunctioned a little bit, and he landed it.
Well, are you making this up?
Are you
No.
So the thing,
Not listening to Brian, I'm just like
You're just
really
listening to his
staring
voice?
At his voice.
the thing and his sense of humor is I never know if he's telling the truth or if he's making a joke. So did Morgan Freeman actually just land a plane?
I believe so. That's the story I heard. If I'm making a joke, I think I'd say it in a more sarcastic tone.
Dude, your voice always sounds the same.
Yeah.
It sounds
It's
wonderful all the
Yeah,
time.
That sounded
It's
sarcastic.
my one weakness. I sound monotone all the time.
I love
I
it.
always sound
I love it.
All
condescending.
right, so
Yeah. Okay. So,
so-
what do you got for us today?
Ray Rice, the
Yes.
biggest story from yesterday.
Yes.
TMZ showing the video of him knocking his then fiance, now wife, out and dragging her body out of the elevator. His contract was ended by the Ravens, and he's indefinitely suspended from the NFL. What are your opinions?
Who wants to go first?
Actually, I want to see Kenny go.
Do you want to?
first.
Do you want to like trade thought
Do
for
you want to
thought?
play devil's advocate?
No, I don't want to play
I would
devil's
love to play-
advocate. There's
'Cause
no
honestly-
no way to advocate for that kind of devil.
No,
I'm a
I'm-
Ravens fan, so.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Where are you from?
No, I've been there like a ton of times watching
Oh,
the game.
I thought he was
And
just like.
it was funny because I had an Ed Reed jersey, and then he left. I'm like, well, I need a new jersey. I go to college in New Rochelle. I might as well just get Ray Rice.
Yeah, there you go.
And he's a New Rochelle native.
He is,
New
which
Rochelle
is,
High School,
you know, it hits
Yeah.
close to home
which-
for all of us
yeah,
here.
so it's
Yeah.
a good local story
All
too.
right, so let's go thought for thought because I think we both kind of want
I
to
want to
rant a
question
little bit.
her mentality, but we're gonna get to that
Well, yeah.
later on because
Now-
the fact that that was his then fiance, and then she married him a month later, knowing
know,
fully well what happened in
Victim's
that elevator.
mentality.
Well,
It's
I mean,
not totally out of
I
the
know
realm
she
of
probably has
possibility.
battered wife
Yeah.
syndrome.
We were talking about it in a class the other day, how this one guy who played for the Dallas Oilers, his son calls 911 and he says, oh, daddy's killing mommy. You hear him beating his wife. Cops show up. The wife is all bloody. They check his knuckles. It's bloody too. And, later on they're in court and the wife just goes up and says, yeah, nothing happened.
Yep.
But a year later, they were divorced. So a lot of people think they just settled out of court and she got like a large sum of money from it. So maybe that
Quiet.
could be like similar to what is happening with Ray Rice's wife.
And
She's-
we'll
I
we're gonna
know-
get to the specifics
I know they knew about it in February.
Yes,
Because
so-
I remember
Yeah.
hearing his name
Exactly.
before.
So
but I didn't
all
know
the
his name.
specifics of how this all went down, I'm sure we'll get to it during our kind of
Yeah.
Somewhat conversation.
anger-filled discussion of this. And let me first say that yesterday I tweeted out, congratulations for the Baltimore Ravens releasing Ray Rice and for the NFL for suspending him. And I want to, one, defend that, and two, say how wrong I was at the same time.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Sort of.
Because number one, there is no way to commend anybody for the way they handled this situation. So me doing that was wrong. Me saying congratulations, Baltimore, you did the right thing, is saying, okay, yeah, you made a wrong decision and then you made it better after everybody told you were wrong, and that's not okay.
So it's kind of like they made the right decision, but too late.
Yes.
Too late,
Yes.
yeah.
And you know what? And I'm fully in support of that. Nobody should be commended for this. However, in defense of that statement, or how I feel, is that we can't I can't defend it because it's
There's-
awful.
there's no
It's awful. Exactly. You know what? They needed to do it. And it's
Because if they didn't at this
exactly.
point,
And you
it
know
would
what?
be ridiculous.
I'm proud that they did do it eventually. I know it should have been done a long time ago, and it's incomprehensible that they did not do it a long time ago. But the fact that they did it still means something. And I know it's not how it's supposed to have gone down. I know that. And I know they made the wrong decision, and I know that the NFL should be ashamed of itself. The Ravens should be ashamed of themselves. Ray Rice should be ashamed of himself. It's disgusting. It's grotesque. It's, everything.
regardless of who he is.
Exactly.
In general,
Exactly.
As a human being.
But you know what? At the end of the day, although this has gone through the whole thing, right? It's gone through the gauntlet. He still never played a game. He's out of the NFL. And my concern is, when is he coming back? Because he's coming back.
He
Really?
will, but I think
Yes.
one of the bigger issues is probably that it seems almost as if he was only dropped not because he assaulted his wife. It's almost as if it's just they got caught with the fact that they can't say, "Oh, we don't know what happened in the elevator," and almost
they
seems
do
as
know
if
what happened.
yeah, they knew what happened in the elevator. It's
Yep.
just they.
I
We
got
have
that thing
visual-
before.
'cause they're saying that they didn't get any of this visual evidence until TMZ released it. But if you're investigating a certain case, you should know exactly what happened in the elevator, regardless if you don't have visual evidence.
You know,
what
the
I mean?
thing is, and this goes beyond the NFL and it goes beyond the Ravens, is
'Cause
that
I
it was
do not
handled
follow
so incredibly
football at all.
poorly
yeah.
from, a law perspective that it's very difficult to say that something wasn't swept under the rug at some
Oh,
point.
definitely.
I think it was just because they wanted to kind of blow over, and everyone would forget about it. Ray Rice would play in 2 games, but
have-
TMZ brought the video
Yeah.
up.
A big question, though. How good of a player is Ray Rice? Because I don't follow
Very
football,
good. He's
so
one
I
of the
don't
top
know.
backs in the league.
So it's
He's,
possible they
he's-
could have just swept it under the rug
Yeah,
because of
yeah.
how good a player he is.
Exactly.
for
He's one of the
most
top
part.
backs in the league, kind of like sweeping a murder under the rug if you're Ray Lewis and you're one of the best defensive players in the league. Hey, what?
Hey, he was only charged with obstruction of justice.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. And Ray Rice is charged with
court of
nothing.
law-
Ray Rice is charged with a
Well,
slap
he was
on the wrist.
indicted,
Yeah.
but it's still
Slap on the
for a
wrist.
2-game suspension.
Ray Lewis, slap on the wrist. Ray Lewis murdered a man. Ray Rice beat his wife, both of whom should have had no business playing in the National Football League. One of whom won a Super Bowl. The other one who will be signed eventually in 2 years when everything kind of dies down and the press won't
And
be as
America
bad. Well, I mean,
basically
kind of like
forgets.
signing a man who spent 18 months in a federal penitentiary for dogfighting.
I was just about
So,
to ask
you know
about
what?
that.
Let's not pretend like the NFL is this whole moral high ground now where nobody's going to touch Ray Rice. When it's time for Ray Rice to come back, somebody's going to say, okay, we'll take a flyer
Especially
on the
'cause it
guy.
all comes down
And
to
he's one of the,
money.
you know what? He's good. He's
It
a
all
good
comes
He is
football
a good player.
See, I know absolutely.
But at the end of the
nothing
day,
about that.
this is about character, not player.
Yep.
And I would be ashamed if I were a fan of the team or if I were an employee of the team that ended up re-signing Ray Rice when it happens.
So
And
you
I'm not saying it's going to
definitely-
happen anytime soon.
You definitely support their decision to suspend him.
Yes,
Because I was speaking to someone
See,
and he was angry about the fact that he was suspended indefinitely.
No, that's
because he said so
ridiculous.
many other football
No.
players have been charged with domestic violence and they just.
You know what? The thing with the
They
NFL
talked about it 'cause
is that they're just so incoherently stupid when it comes to player discipline. You've got 2 players who've been charged with vehicular manslaughter who play every Sunday.
That's exactly the point he made, and he still plays, right?
And isn't there the player on the 49ers who was just arrested for domestic violence, and he hasn't even gotten a game suspension? He still plays.
Yep. It's like I can't. I can't. I can't.
Watching the video, because even if I didn't know who this man was in general, because I don't know who Ray Rice is, I just heard his name like just in conversation, and I think I spoke about him last year on my show. When I saw the way he laid her out, she was ice cold on the floor, one flip flop off.
Don't worry, he got the flip flop.
Yeah,
I know
the
he got the
flip-flop
flip
was
flop.
not
and
left
the
behind.
fact that he took so long dragging her out, you are a football player. The men that you tackle and get tackled by, I guess that's the word, are huge. So you could not pick up.
I
your
wouldn't say
fourth
he
fiancé?
does the tackling. He's a running back.
I
He does the
can't-
running.
I'm
They
not
hand
a
him the ball.
football. I'm not a football person. I don't know. But either way, he is going up against big men, and the fact that you couldn't even pick her up, like have that courtesy to like.
Have the courtesy.
Well, yeah,
I don't know. If,
Oh, yes,
I don't know if
after
at that
knocking
moment
her
there
out
was
cold,
a lot of courtesy there.
questions
Yes,
what
watching that
kind of
video,
man
that
this
was the moment
is.
that wasn't courteous.
Yeah.
Yeah, he knocked her out, and
He didn't even-
but
Yeah.
he got
he
the
placed
flip flop.
her,
But
right?
how dare he not? carry
I'm
her
not
bridal
overly
style.
surprised that the Disney prince didn't come out of him to pick her up and carry her home after he knocked
But
her
then
out cold.
again, someone else made this argument saying she hit him first.
It doesn't matter.
Which
When
is,
you
is
watch the video,
disrespectful because domestic violence is domestic violence, but, like regardless if
Yes.
it's male or female.
Sure.
Granted, she should not have slapped him, but granted, he should not have laid her out
Yeah.
the way he
yeah,
did.
you don't really
She-
equal
Because he
gangs.
gave her 2 hard punches in the
Yeah.
video.
It does, see, the thing is that we live in a strange paradigm of people who I'm not saying anybody in here's doing it or anybody that we know is doing it, but people blame the victim
Yep.
all the time. It's their fault. She was yelling at him.
That's the
She
exact
was
same thing I
asking
heard
for
yesterday.
it. She was wearing tight pants. She was wearing a small skirt.
Exactly.
Well,
It
it's
I know-
ridiculous.
matter.
it does not excuse the action that
Yep.
happened. at all.
Yesterday, they interviewed Ray Lewis, who was a former member. He considered himself kind of a mentor of Ray Rice, and he's furious over it.
Yeah, he
saying,
showed him
like,
how exactly to get away with stuff.
No, he was saying like he would have expected Ray Rice to do better. He was saying like I'm disgusted that he would do that. Even if she was slapping him, he has no excuse to ever put his hand on a woman like that. And so,
Yeah.
As a
really,
man, I grew up. You just don't do that. You never touch a woman.
yeah,
She could spit at you. I guess. Well, no, she stabbed
Especially
you. I
when-
suppose
yeah.
you could like
Right.
defend yourself.
Well, I mean,
at
you
that
don't
point.
stab her back, though, I
But
guess, you know?
Yeah,
right?
there's-
You
there's a
never
gray
touch
area.
woman.
Yeah, there's a gray area with stabbings, I guess.
Yeah.
Spring, thanks for
I mean,
bringing
It was,
that
it
up.
was an
I got
exaggeration,
you, I got
Kenny.
you.
Either way,
no,
you just don't.
I got no words. I
I
mean,
have-
I think I've used words.
I think I watched the video like 3 times just to see each and every moment in slow motion and in regular motion. So just
The thing is
Seeing it.
the part that's so hard to defend from the NFL standpoint is that even if they didn't have the video, right? They didn't see the video of him knocking her out, right? Sure. But the video that they did see was him dragging an
body.
unconscious woman from an elevator. She didn't just
Because
turn
that
up
wasn't
unconscious. The unconscious fairy didn't come down into the elevator and go,
Sprinkles.
"Woohoo," and then
Like
she
in your
was
pants.
out. That's not how things go.
Well, I guess what they could have said is like, they were at a casino, so clearly they were drinking. Maybe she drank too much and just
No.
that.
See, but
Were
the
there
thing
any
from the
physical
beginning,
markings? 'Cause I actually don't know that information.
I don't know either. From the
Because they
beginning, though,
don't
there was
focus.
never, I didn't do it. It was, you just haven't seen me
And then
do it.
it doesn't help
And I
that in the
think-
press conference she defended him. So it's like
Yeah.
I could see how the NFL could get away.
Well, let
with
me go
sweeping
back
it.
again to, and
The
Brian,
battered
sorry,
wife
but let
thing,
me,
I know.
the initial interview for the NFL and their decision to suspend Ray Rice, they interviewed Janae, I believe her name is.
Yeah, Janae
right?
Palmer.
Yeah.
What?
Palmer, Janae,
Janae Palmer. They interviewed Janae Palmer with Ray Rice in the room.
I didn't know
That
Yeah.
was their first interview.
Of course. Then she's not gonna.
Of
say
course.
anything.
Well,
And the NFL's lead legal counsel was in the room when they did it.
well, do you think it was probably like, Ray Rice talked to her like, look, if you help me through this, you don't commit
Yeah,
parenting,
probably.
So
you
it's
will get a
definitely
very
all for
large.
the public. Because the fact she
Yeah.
married
Come
him
on!
has to be like, if she divorced him after,
It's
not
so-
divorced him, cut off the engagement.
It
Obviously,
is
something's
so
wrong.
incredibly textbook domestic abuse that
At its
that
finest.
I could write the book.
Yep. No, I think Ray Rice would write the book.
Well, yeah, yeah. I mean,
There goes Brian's sarcastic
yeah, there
voice.
he is. But it's so it's like, oh, I get it, because that's how exactly the examples in the textbook
See,
are.
now I have because Ray Rice, right? Ray Rice.
Mm-hmm.
I
Ray
almost
Rice.
said Ray Lewis.
Oh,
Anyway,
don't do that.
I know
he's
wrong
just
person.
the murderer.
Hey, convicted.
Hey.
He was not like,
There you
formally
go.
in court said you're the murderer. He just obstructed justice. His
Thank
friend
you,
was the
Justin.
murderer.
That's why we need Justin. Why do I call you Justin?
That's
Oh,
not
Brian,
even a
that's-
name.
Congratulations.
Who is Justin? We've got Ray Rice, Ray Lewis, we got Brian, Ken, we got Joe, Ian,
I'm now
Guys,
upgrading
Spring.
to-
hot mess in the
Not
morning.
one person
I don't know
named
why I
Justin.
said Justin.
I don't even know a Justin.
You do know.
I'll
who
take
Justin
that
is,
as a
but not-
compliment.
not the point.
Do I?
Yes, you
I
do.
do. I
Not the
play
point,
hockey
though.
with a Justin.
The point.
Sorry.
Either way, I have a friend that he actually like him and Ray Rice aren't like buddies, like they don't go hanging out together. But he did see him at Specs because apparently Ray Rice hangs out at
So Spectators Bar and Grill.
Yeah,
in New
often
Rochelle.
enough. Exactly.
Selfless
Yeah. So
plugging.
he said there was an instance that he was waiting in line to use the facility, right, the bathroom. So he said Ray Rice had come up and this woman tried to cut off my friend from using the bathroom, and he said literally Ray Rice took her and just shoved her all the way to the back and said he was in line. So I'm not sure exactly how true it is, but hearing this from like a regular instance or incident, it shows his
it's
character
not-
Yeah.
for the most part. He just
A
shoved
lot of
woman.
people, and again, this is only because I can now write the textbook on domestic abuse, because this is a
By
prime example.
Dr. Kenneth Reichman.
But who are they? The people who do it. What are they called? People who do things that they aren't supposed to do.
Criminals.
Usually.
Usually. So the person, I guess, who is abusing somebody, it's normally not the first time that they've done it. I don't know.
Is
The
it the
abuser?
abuser?
The abuser, I guess.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
It's normally not the first time that
No.
they've shown a violent act. It's just the first time that they've been caught
So-
doing it.
Now, another question. Do you think now that it's the elevator scene is out and all that, do you think she'll stay by his side because like what you said? Or do you think now
needs
she
help.
might actually open up about
she
it?
very clearly needs.
Because you do know the public is going to come down on her especially.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because it's all her fault.
Well, not even because it's
She
all her
should
fault.
not have
It's-
been yelling
It's just
at
what
her.
are you doing
Yeah, I'm
staying with this man? Not even if it's
Well,
her fault
yes,
or
but
not.
I'm with Spring. It's more of just they wouldn't come down
I
like,
think it would
oh,
be
you're
more
a
of
terrible person.
concern,
It'd be
you know
like,
what I
why
mean?
are you still with him?
Exactly.
They're worried about
Of
her. They
course,
don't want her to stay with
Of
this
course
guy.
they don't
that-
want her
And
to
there would
stay
also
with him. And
be-
of course she doesn't want to stay with him either. She's nervous. She's scared. She's afraid.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. So maybe now
she needs
that
help.
it's brought to light, perhaps she'll get more help for
Yes.
it and
Yes.
divorce
Yeah.
this man.
Hopefully. Because a
I
lot
don't
of
know if
times
you know-
they don't want help.
You know Ocho
They think it's the
Cinco,
last
right?
time. Yeah.
He was married to Evelyn Lozada. She's from like one of these basketball Hot Miami Wives, whatever show they have there on VH1. I don't
You
watch
could have
these
made
shows.
anything up. I would
I
have said
could have,
yes.
yeah, I know VH1 Wives. That's what I'm calling it. Either way, I know he punched her out for the most part because she had pictures of her face completely bruised, and immediately she said that no, that's it, you can't touch me. That after that, so I hope that Janae Palmer would take that same approach. Hopefully, seeing that this elevator scene came to light, and would just walk away from the situation. Well, not walk away, but like walk away from him. You know what I mean?
I would hope so. I would
But
hope
then
so.
again-
But she needs help to do it because
She may
you know
also
what?
stay by
It's
his
not,
side for public reasons,
It's also not.
because she's scared.
She's not alone in people who have been abused domestically who stay with their abuser.
Exactly.
She's not alone. She's not the only one, and she can be a really good example
Yep.
to a lot of those women or men who are in the same situation.
Because that video was
Yeah.
insane. I can't imagine being knocked out like that. I'm not a big person, so me being out cold like that, just oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's scary. It's scary to think about.
So moving to a I think
Thanks,
that
Brian.
ran its course. I
Alright.
mean, we were.
Yeah, no, that was good.
Yeah, we said
could take a
everything.
break if you
Yeah,
want.
so,
Do you want to take a break?
Why not? Let's rest these vocal cords.
Yeah.
No,
I'm a
no,
little
no. Don't
thirsty.
worry about my vocal.
We
cords.
know your vocal cords are amazing, Brian.
So
I'm
the
trying to put
biggest
more
news
bass
for
in the voice.
today, would you like to take a guess as to what it is?
No idea.
Is quite possibly history changing.
Quite
Ooh.
possibly history.
Oh my
changing.
goodness.
Listen to him.
That's right, everyone. Apple is poised to present the iPhone 6.
No.
Yep.
What was that?
With
That
a
was
screen
my.
back here.
That was my explosion.
with a screen that is slightly bigger than the iPhone 5, yet I
Wow.
don't think just quite as big as Samsung phones.
Aren't
So
there
what you're
two
saying to
different
me is that it would be dramatically bigger than the phone.
No, I know there's one that's a 4.7 and one there's like a 5.5 inch, right? That's
I
what
believe
Wait,
so.
are we
I
really
don't know
gonna
like
talk
this.
about
I mean,
Yes.
yeah, I've got other stories if you'd like.
No,
I just figured,
I was
you
kind of
know.
kidding, but seriously, this is like how the world works now. This is what I care about.
Yeah. I
How
mean, how
big
long?
is your iPhone?
How big is your iPhone?
Is
Say
it
that.
big enough?
Does the size of your phone really matter?
Can you fit it in the palm of your hand
Or
and
your
make sure
pocket.
your thumb goes over?
No, I thought
Has
the
your
iPhone
girlfriend
5 was
ever
supposed to
talked
be
about
perfectly
your
measured.
best friend's iPhone?
Now, wasn't the iPhone 5 supposed to be perfectly measured so that your thumb could go from the top
Exactly.
of the screen to the bottom of the screen?
I'll tell you right now.
Right? Wasn't that a thing?
By whose hand?
I don't know.
'Cause
My
some
hand.
people
I
it's
have
just like an
relatively
average hand.
small
Do it.
hands.
Do it.
I just did it right now.
And it's perfect, right?
It's beautifully perfect.
It's
Let me see
beautiful.
yours. You
Mine's
have-
too big. My
has the
thumb's
iPhone.
all over the place.
Oh no, his is too small.
Yeah.
It's too wide.
Oh,
He's
Kenny's
right.
got a small
You
phone.
see? I do have a small phone, but you know what? It's the way you use it, Brian.
Kenny, don't be.
It's the way you
don't be
use it.
threatened by my large phone.
I'm not threatened. Don't worry. I'm comfortable enough
I
with the
know how
size
to
of
work
my
my
phone.
large-
I mean, me with my Galaxy
Whoa,
S7. Oof.
massive.
Brian just brought out his Samsung. He
Yeah.
just beat all of us right now. I can't handle that.
All right, Brian. We get it.
Oh, the amount of times
Got a
I've heard
big
that.
phone.
I love the turn. It's just,
We have to go. We have to.
we need to
All
go
right,
on
break.
commercial.
Brian, take us to commercial.
I need a mental
We'll
break.
be right back.
Your phone was
We'll
too
be
much
right
for
back.
me.
Yes, we will.
We'll be right back. Wait.
Oh, man.
I want to play some music.
Oh, he does. This is the hardest it's ever been to go to commercial.